Bust it.
Hello and welcome to Political Platform, a program where we give you updates on trendy and current events in the political and economic realm of our national development efforts. My name is Amechi Anapwe. The executive has fired back at the legislature over claims that it is responsible for the delay in the passage of the 2018 appropriation bill presently before the National Assembly. If you recall, the Senate in section said it was MDA's CEOs that have formed the habit of not turning up for budget and defense, but two senior officers of the executive, apart from a Tainang that we had on this program on Friday, that also defended the executive action, talking about the vice president and the man in charge of the budget office, said as far as they are concerned, all the details that the National Assembly is alleging were not part of the documents that were submitted by the president to the National Assembly, were all intact. They are integral part of the entire documents that the president submitted, they claim. So the blame game is still ongoing. You know, in Nigeria, it's all about blame game among security agencies. The police, the army alleging that the police was handed over the security in Dapchi before the army withdrew, the police coming out to say no, you did not. And now between the two critical arms of government, the executive and the legislature, trading blames why Nigerians suffer. Now, what is the fate of Jerry Gana and Tunda Adenira and some other members of the PDP? There are reports that they have defected to a new party, the Social Democratic Party, SDP. There are also newspaper reports that many governors and National Assembly members are also on their way to the party. How true is this? We'll be speaking with the spokesperson of the party for more insight. Is it going to be adopted as the third force, the one that has been talked about so much? These are some of the inquiries we'll be making. And drama in Imo State, the home state of the birth state of Ujueje, my colleague. The issue is who will become the governor of that state in 2019. The governor has insisted that his son-in-law, the man marrying his first daughter, Uche Nwosu, who is presently his chief of staff, is the man most suited for the job. So many others have disagreed with him. And what happened at the burial mass in Owerri last weekend is one that saw personalities throw caution to the wind. The Archbishop, who was delivering his homily, that's the sermon, criticized the government for not doing enough and talked about ensuring that the next governor of Imo State must be someone who's tested and an astute administrator. This probably did not go down well with the supporters of the APC and Uche Nwosu, who incidentally was at that mass with the wife of the governor, and attempts were made to make a go at the Archbishop, prompting the other clergy, including reverend fathers and seminarians, to fall a protective war against the Archbishop. If you recall what happened about 7 years ago in Imo, where the governor then, Ike Hakim, was accused of allowing his aides to beat up a reverend father because, according to them, he blocked the governor's convoy. It was one of the reasons many believe that the governor was voted out in office. Is the situation in Imo State going to have a repeat? These are the big questions. Ujueje is with me in the studio this morning.
Amechi, thank you for reminding me of my roots in Imo State. I'm also partly from Delta State, so I'm in Niger Delta, and so I can decide to claim that in the face of the ridicule that is going on. But honestly, it beats me, because when men of God, who are supposed to be the conscience of the nation, can no longer speak the truth, then this country is in trouble. Because if you look at in times past, you look at the Bible, Elijah, Isaiah, Habakkuk, all the prophets, they were the ones that God sent to kings to let them know when they are erring and to change from their ways, not just to criticize them. and that man was just doing his work. I didn't see how the son-in-law, allegedly could have unleashed.
No, not the son-in-law. The report is that the son-in-law washed without interfering when his supporters were making attempt to assault the Archbishop.
You have all the powers, you have all the security apparatus, and you watched while a man of God was being manhandled. Come on, tell me. This is not right. I think that our leaders should, when they are criticized, take it in good faith. Examine yourself, see where you're failing, and then correct it. That's the whole essence of that.
Ijoma Samo, welcome to the program. Conflicting reports from INEC. There were media reports that the INEC has said allegations of underage voting in some parts of northern Nigeria were false, that the footages being circulated in the social media are from Kenya, offshoot of Kenya elections, and not from Nigeria election. What's the true situation?
Yes, Mechi, INEC has already denied it because from what Usaze Uzi, the interview he granted some journalists over the weekend, they denied it because the committee set up is just spending 3 days in Kano. And according to that statement, they only sent out letters to those who can give them information if they have video evidence and written evidence to observers, election observers, and the CSOs, including the media. They sent out the letter on Friday, and even Saturday morning somebody is reporting that INEC said none. I think they gave them 2 weeks. Why don't we just wait for the report to come out first before we conclude?
But they say no smoke without fire. Maybe a member of the committee
made reference to that. We took that report on our station on Friday. The man only said, if you have, give us, and we will use it.
So where is the Kenya angle? Where did it come
from? Don't know, because the visuals that came from Kanu, from our AIT correspondent, I didn't see anything like that. I think we should also
maybe it was
find out from our AIT
figment in the imagination.
Of the media. So we should watch what we report. This committee only went there on Thursday, and they are just 3 days in Kanu, and they are going to continue what they are doing until 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they will come out with their report. Until then, I think the media should hold on for the committee to come out with a report first before you go to the...
I know that, Nigerian politicians, the attitude which have now been imbibed by even bureaucrats, they will make a statement when the bigger picture comes to bear after they have been published by the media. They begin to deny that I never said that, or I was quoted out of context.
Context.
We always
it's
take
also
such things with it. It's possible, but
it's possible.
Okay, Adebayo Boduri is also in the studio with us.
Amishi, I was at pains over the weekend, and it has to do with what God bless us with, the natural endowment we have, and that has to be oil. It is sad that the issue of subsidy keep on recurring. But that's not the only thing that worry, that we are spending 774 million naira to subsidize fuel importation.
On daily basis.
On daily basis, it's worrisome. But the most worrisome of it all to me is the report that Nigeria is the only member of OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, that is importing fuel.
In fact, it's the highest.
And not just importing fuel. We are importing fuel more than those who don't even have oil.
Yes.
We are importing 1 million tons every month. It is sad. The sad aspect of it is that it's a confirmation of, because sometimes when you look at social scientists, when they come up with concepts, sometimes you want to fault them. Nigerian perfectly fit into the picture of a country with a resource cost. We have huge resources which has not turned out to be a cost for us.
Because of our own greed, because of our own avarice. That is why, not because if we manage these things well, we cannot ensure that every Nigerian citizen lives above poverty level. I think that what we need to do is actually hold our leaders accountable, make them do what is right, so that this thing, I do not believe that it's a curse, because they said the blessings of God make it rich, it addeth no sorrow. It is the human beings that are bringing sorrow to it.
Pastor is talking.
Well, if you look at it this way, we are the only country we don't have functional refineries. We are the only country where you have where corruption is at its highest level. And just like every other oil producing country, the greatest country that have highest level of corruption in the whole world are countries with oil who have discovered oil in commercial quantity. It's sad.
Amechi, in a situation where you have some of our political bigwigs having refineries outside the shores of Nigeria,
these are
you will expect there are speculations. I'm saying in a situation where you hear that there are speculations, but when you have people like that, you will expect things like this. What happened to the modular refineries?
Okay, there are some big questions that are coming up, popping up, and it's only the president, his relatives, his friends, his associates that can answer this question. It's one of the questions Pastor Tunde Bakare raised during his sermon in his church service over the weekend. He's at loss. He says he cannot understand. He has tried to rationalize and reason what prompted the action of the president in going to Kanu to grace the wedding of the son and daughters of the governors of Kanu and Oyo State. Why would the president go there when he has not made out time to make a stopover in Dapchi, Yobe State, where over 100 schoolgirls were abducted, commiserate with the grieving parents, comfort them, reassure them that indeed the government is doing all it can to quickly rescue the girls. And so many people have pointed at what happened in the United States almost at the same time the girls were abducted. A gunman took the lives of so many pupils and students in a school, and before you could say Jack Robinson, the US president stopped all he was doing and moved over to that place to have first-hand information and be part of the entire process. Now, some say the president should be the father of the nation, but the big question is he being a father at a time that fatherhood is mostly needed and desired? Who will comfort the parents of these girls in Dapchi? How sensitive was that feast, a wedding feast that held in Kanu? It was almost the same thing that happened during the Jonathan regime when after a bomb blast in Abuja, the then president went to Kanu, same Kanu State, why Kanu, where of course he had a rally and they were dancing freely. This time around, it was President Muhammad Buhari engaging in a feast. Our correspondent from AIT just came back from Dapchi, and she brought reports of sorrow, anguish, and depression of the parents. The president must answer that question, and those around him must quickly advise him to make a stopover in Dapchi, even when he's not visiting places where communal clashes and herdsmen farmers clashes have killed hundreds, choosing to go to commission projects even in nearby states. This is the time we need the president to become a statesman.
If I may quickly add, the same thing with the issue of fuel subsidy. That was one of the points that the APC as an opposition party then used to kick out the PDP to come into power. Why is I think this government deserves to be, needs to be more transparent with the people. The people need to know more what this government is
Anyway,
into.
these are some of the issues our listeners have raised in their letters. With their letters, please don't get away.
It's the mail segment, and I'm Amaka Okoro.
Naime Kang Akipo, you're welcome.
We'll begin with a reaction on the rejection of the Peace Corps bill, and it's coming from Bengus in Lagos State. The mail reads, as usual, there have been several emotional reactions on the Peace Corps bill, which the president refused to sign into law. I commend the president for this bold step. The Peace Corps is a private initiative. Hence, its founder should at best register it as a private security outfit to provide security services to private organizations like the DAR Communications. The legislators shouldn't set a wrong precedent by passing the Peace Corps bill into law, because the consequence is that anyone can wake up from a security outfit and stampede the government to register and adopt it as a national security outfit. By the way, the sum of 40,000 is being paid to be enrolled into the Peace Corps. Which of the government agencies is collecting this money? I hope another massive corruption is not going on with the Peace Corps. God bless Nigeria.
And on the hate speech bill, Emmanuel Ocharifu in Mararaba, Nasarawa State says, last week a bill was sponsored by Senator Sabi Abdullahi proposing death sentence for anyone found guilty of hate speech. A good development, I must say, considering the danger associated with it. But to what extent can we draw a line between constructive criticisms and hate speeches? Of what use is the Freedom of Information Act passed in 2011 by the last administration would be if one can only access information that he can never expose, for the fear of being tagged hate speech maker? Where is our right to freedom of expression and the press as enshrined in Chapter 4, Section 39, Subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution as amended? Hate speech is usually response to hate actions. If the government and its officers embark on people-oriented policies, the citizens would have no alternative to love speech. Stop hate actions, hate speech would go without enforcement. God bless Nigeria.
Monday Ame in Abuja writes on the killings of humanitarian workers and some persons in Ran, Borno State. The mail reads, "Dear Political Platform crew, I wish to use this medium to condemn very unequivocally the gruesome killings of some innocent humanitarian workers and some other persons by the Boko Haram sect in Ran, Borno State last week. This gruesome murder of innocent persons is, to say the least, barbaric, reprehensible, callous, and very lugubrious. I call on our gallant troops and all security agents in the Northeast to up their games and not allow the ragtag insurgents take a shine of the remarkable successes they have recorded so far in the counter-terrorism war. Issues of intelligence gathering should be painstakingly intensified. My heartfelt condolences goes to the United Nations, Doctors Without Borders, their immediate families, the government and people of Borno State over their irreparable loss. May their gentle soul rest in peace. Amen."
And on the Nigerian Police and Firearms, Emeka Mba in Abuja says, due to the danger posed by the rising state of insecurity in the country, it is reassuring that the Nigeria Police has risen up to the occasion by trying to curb the proliferation of firearms in the country. But what is worrisome is that instead of concentrating on the criminal elements who have wreaked havoc, killing and maiming, even at the flimsiest of excuses, leaving in their trail sorrow, tears and blood, the Nigeria Police is more interested in vigilante groups and individuals who obtained various forms of licenses and permits for their firearms. The case study is Anambra State, where the Commissioner of Police has already given a deadline for licensed individuals and vigilantes to surrender their firearms, even when it's evident that these vigilantes have helped in no small measure in assisting the police in curbing crime and criminality in various communities. I humbly advise the police to direct this worthy exercise to the AK-47 wielding killer headsmen and other known criminal elements who have destroyed and are still destroying so many innocent lives and properties, as their current approach is already arousing all manner of suspicion and apprehension.
And still on the state of security in Nigeria, Friday Atta from Nyanya in Abuja says, the president has refused outrightly to visit any of the troubled states, from Benue to Taraba, Zamfara to the recent abduction of about 110 girls from a school in Dapchi, Yobe State. But it was convenient for the president to go to Kano State to attend the wedding of 2 governors' children while the nation bleeds. The worst was that Loretta Onoche has the guts to tell the public that President Buhari is an adult and can go wherever he chooses to go to. In a decent society, this woman would have been relieved of her duty, or the citizens of that society would be on the street demanding the resignation of the president. I suggest that the handlers of our president, as well as all his media aides, should help him salvage whatever is left of his reputation and integrity before going to the next round of elections to avoid a defeat.
And on the return of the president's son, Amechi Oboche in Kubwa, Abuja, says, let me first of all congratulate the first family for the recovery and return of one of their own, Yusuf, who has been away receiving treatments on injuries sustained in a bike accident. But I was shocked to see the Minister of Health among those that received this chap from the airport. A whole minister receiving a private citizen. How inappropriate. Anyway, however you may look at this, I have never seen this minister in any hospital in the Northeast, Northwest, or North Central on a visit to victims of the raging Boko Haram terrorists, escalating gunmen violence, or the deteriorating farmer herders crisis. But this same minister went to the airport with his official paraphernalia and entourage to receive Yusuf. Have we stooped this low? I urge Buhari, who came to power on the premise of change, to stop all these sycophantic moves, as they are directly or indirectly affecting his person negatively. but he might not understand. Let us do the right thing no matter who is involved, or else we are getting nowhere. God bless Nigeria.
And Patrick from Apo in Abuja titles this one as underage voting. The mail reads, Their political platform, if Empower can use BVN to screen applicants, then INEC can either use BVN or NIMC to remove all card holders below 18 years from the list by comparing it with that of BVN or NIMC. And those cards can be made invalid by the card readers since all the cards have serial numbers.
And that's it for the mail segment today. Keep your mails coming. Send them to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Thank you so much for staying with us. SDP Social Democratic Party is welcoming big weeks. Some of them from other parties, but over the weekend we heard news that some big wigs from PDP have moved over to that party. And we have with us on the line the National Publicity Secretary of SDP, Alfa Mohammed. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amici. How are you today?
We are very well. How many PDP members have defected to your party?
That is a good number of them that have defected into our party. And leading the pack is the former Minister of Information and the founding member of the PDP, Professor Jerry Ghana, and Professor Tode Adenina, the former Minister of Education. Now, apart from these people, we also have others like Right Honorable Kinde Ayola, the former Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly. We have Mr. John Dara. We also have Senator Colonel Akagege from Benue State. Samuel Turaki is also part of them. Then, not only from PDP, we have people from other organizations and civil society that have also decamped into our party. And leading the camp, the pack from National Intervention Movement, Mr. Shehu Gabam from Bauchi State, you know him very well, and Ambassador Babajide. So these are a few of the numbers I can mention.
I was just reading a statement you released over the newspapers, and you claim that 5 governors and so many senators are on their way. How true is that?
Yes, that is the truth. You know, it shouldn't be a new thing to you. In the last election, when the people were about to moving out of PDP into APC, the same manner it was that some certain senators and governors were having meetings on the ground with APC without their names being mentioned for strategic reasons. But it's the truth that about not even 22 or 20 as reported, 35 of them, we've been having meetings with them. And at times, some of their representatives attend our meetings, and they're the same thing for the governors, and it is the truth. Because, as you know, Nigerians have discovered a way of replacing a government that they are not pleased with, and that is what happened to the 2015 election. And it is going to be replicated. And the SDP has been adopted as that platform that will be used to effect such change that took place in 2015 come 2019.
Well, what conditions are you giving those who are just joining you? Are they when with their entry, do they have, are they automatically members? They don't have a provision period. What conditions are you giving?
Number one, our national chairman has announced, has declared that registers for SDP registers should be open in all the wards in Nigeria. As I can tell you from today, people are already trooping to the wards to register. The first thing you do when you join a party is you register in your ward. They have declared openly, they have endorsed the party. So the next thing is for them to go and register their membership of the party. And I can assure you, for instance, yesterday, a former Speaker of House of Assembly in Niger State visited the local government chapter of SDP in his local government, Bida, Similarly, in Adamawa State, a prominent member of APC donated a brand new car.
Now, these names you're reeling out, are you sure that tomorrow or next, some of them will come out to deny that they have moved over to the SDP? Because there were some persons whose names were linked that are already distancing themselves from the party.
Yeah, what actually happened is, you see, those that are claiming that they've not decamped, it is not as if they were not part of it. They were in attendance of the meetings. They were in Ladikwali Hall. They were captured there. But the thing is that some of them intend to come as a group into the party. Some of them were representing groups, organizations. So they don't want to be seen as having jumped the gun to endorse SDP or to make public the declaration. So, and that is why some of them seems not to be happy that their names were mentioned. But actually, when you see leaders of organizations attending meetings, it shows that they are part of whatever arrangement that is going on there. Such people will come along with the organization when we get the time, appropriate time for them.
I read somewhere that you're beginning to look at the SDP as the third force. What about the group led by former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, that even former President Obasanjo has identified with?
Yes, Donald Duke belongs to National Intervention Movement. And a delegation from National Intervention Movement has been part of this arrangement. Jelly Tafa Balewa was with us. In fact, he was in the venue of the declaration on Thursday. And Shehu Gabam was there. All these are top leaders.
Okay, we know some of these names. We'll reach out to them for confirmation. But we wish you luck as you get set for the 2019 elections.
Please take it again.
I said we'll have to thank you for speaking with us. We'll make effort to verify some of the names we have mentioned as those that are willing to join your party. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Alpha Mohammed is the National Publicity Secretary of the SDP. For want of time, we don't have a privilege of passing comments, but when we come back tomorrow, we'll look at the new developments. You know, in Nigeria, there are no borders between parties. On behalf of my colleagues, my name is Amichano. Let's see you tomorrow. Busted.